one of our roles here has always been to take away excess money from people who don't know what to do with it, who can't think of a better idea about how to spend their money. In the old days, the mechanism for doing that was you throw it on a table. Put that into the context of throwing away a bottle of 7-Up at a club, that's only just slightly more honest about it.
If you're talking crass commercialism, in the very best sense of the word, this is it. Is it the cultural center of the country? We may not want to think it is, but is it?
What is the rest of the country? I don't know, but it's that place where they all leave and come here.
I took a walk through this beautiful world, felt the cool rain on my shoulder, found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha-la-la-la-la, 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 sha-la-la-la-la-la.
I can go to the desert, but I am not going to get there by accident. But that's part of the whole experience of the desert is that, you know, it ain't friendly, it ain't nice, it ain't good, you know? You're out here, you know, a half a mile. It doesn't matter if you're a half a mile out or you're 20 miles out. There's no reason to walk a mile further. You're already in infinite desolation. Sin City was true, it was real. Part of moving out here was you were never going to see the family again. I mean, that was this. I'm moving to Vegas, and you ain't coming to see me, and I ain't coming to see you. I mean, that's the character of the city. It really was the pit of America. It wasn't that somebody came out here because I'm going to make $1 million. It was I'm going to come out here and I'm going to survive, and you all ain't going to bug me anymore back home.
In Vegas, there's winners and losers. And God knows, I've been both. In a place like this where you can lose your shirt on the unlucky turn of a card, you need a friend. And for my sins, I got Ruhlman. Currently evading prosecution in just about every jurisdiction from his hometown Cleveland to Grand Forks, wanted for bail jumping, usury, misuse of livestock, assault, grand theft auto. Also the respected author of such food-related classics as the French Laundry Cookbook and Soul of a Chef. He washed up in Vegas at just the right time. Vegas was always the most unlikely of dreams, the longest of long shots in the middle of the desert. A real but imaginary space that keeps expanding, creeping ever larger across the wasteland. Back in the 40s, the 50s, it was a small town. 100,000 became 300,000, became 500,000, then 1 million, then 2. But it doesn't matter if it was 5 years ago or 50. The town has always ended like this. An abrupt cut and the desert rats on the horizon. But there are comfortable, dark places too, where a man can have a drink, meet like-minded sophisticados of the open West. Places like this.
It's the good stuff. It's Jameson Black.
Yeah, that's yum.
Well, you can do 30 of those.
Huntridge Tavern, where those who have to live it, see it, the things that men do day after day, night after night, in a town where people are encouraged to do their worst, where they can drink the stain away.
This is the side of Vegas I like.
This side.
Yeah, because people here are like really cynical.
Really?
They have a dim worldview, even more dim than me.
That's hard.
Do you know what this whole show's about? Do you know there's a theme?
No.
This is about people who live here. You know, when all the meatheads come and go, they're still here. These people have seen every variety of horrifying human behavior. So, I mean, the whole business model is come to Vegas and behave really, really badly.
I think it's encouraged people to be even worse. That they're expected to do that. Kind of makes my skin crawl.
Really?
Not here. Here, I like it. I'm comfortable here, even in my blazer.
Right. Is this an easy town to make a living or a hard town to make a living?
Depends on what you do. 25 years behind the bar, you see some shit.
If you were born and bred here,
I
Yeah,
am.
she's third generation.
third generation, are you an optimist or a pessimist? Do you think that basically the human race are good people?
I'd say roughly half of them.
Half are going.
Half are going.
There are probably more knuckleheads per square foot in the Vegas Strip than anywhere in America.
Yeah, but I'm
Anywhere in America.
not hanging with those people, man. There will be a few high-end meals during our adventure here. We will be sampling the other side. But there's a price.
There's always a price with you.
There are places in Vegas where the available rooms are not listed on any websites. Places reserved for the whales, the high rollers, the 10 million a night gamblers who arrive by private plane.
Bobby Flay probably lives like this all the time.
Yeah, it could go dark, couldn't it? Could get very dark here. I honestly never thought it would have come to this.
Well, it was dunking fries 14 years ago, so
You've made some steps up.
you're making me feel better about all of this luxury looking back at that.
Yeah, you deserve this.
You're right.
You deserve this.
Entering my golden years era. They don't show this in the Viagra commercials. You know, they're always running down a beach with a tennis racket. They're never sitting here. You know, go in and kill some young people. You'd be like, throw another poor person in there. It's getting cold. To victory, Roman. Victory in our time. You always try to comfort yourself in situations like this, thinking, oh, I'm sure they're, people who are really, really wealthy, they're probably really miserable. They don't know the sort of ups and downs, the happiness, the contrast, the passion that I have. But we don't know, do we? Right? Like maybe every day is like wonderful.
Gentlemen, just to welcome you, little toast foie gras, black truffle vinaigrette.
Lovely.
Yes, sir. Toast foie gras, black truffle vinaigrette.
Perfect, thank you.
Delicious.
Perfect, perfect.
The Hadrian Villa at Caesar's Palace. A little pad they give you if your credit line runs into the 8 figures. How did I get it? I told the casino that Wolf Blitzer was coming, that he was expected any minute. I suggested that Wolf might be hungry, and they sent up Guy Savoy. Fortunately, he doesn't watch a lot of television. And I plan to live large till they figure out that Wolf ain't coming. I'll deal with the fallout later. But for now, we live.
So, gentlemen, this dish is called the colors of caviar. Everything is in layers. On the bottom of the glass, you're going to find a caviar vinaigrette, topped with a cream of caviar, then topped with a puree of French green beans with caviar, then a quenelle of golden Ossetra caviar, and with you're finishing the dish with a caviar sabayon.
Ah, beautiful. Look at that.
It's rare that I say it's too beautiful to eat.
I was just thinking now. Oh, speaking of fantastically luxurious.
So, messieurs, this is a specialty of Mr. Savoy, the artichoke soup, with fresh black truffle and shavings of aged Parmesan cheese.
Oh, man. That's truffle.
So, messieurs, this is the marmite. It's a combination of pheasant, wild crab, and duck, seared foie gras, cabbage, and wild mushrooms. Please enjoy.
Wow, look at this. Oh, that is beautiful. You feel guilty eating this well?
I do.
You do?
I do.
I'm feeling guilty now, but it will pass.
I'll follow you then.
Wow. You ever even seen anything like this?
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this anywhere.
Yeah, me either.
And the thing is, you can see the main pool from the window here. You can see the hoi polloi.
I was thinking about inviting them all up to our crib
Don't you dare do that.
for a party.
No.
Hey, don't they deserve a good time? I don't know. Maybe not.
Not gonna happen.
We're getting back to guilt. Do you feel enlightened and inspired by this meal?
What are you asking? What are you getting at here? You're trying to get at something.
Try to make myself feel better. I mean, I'm trying to prove that I'm down with the people, man. I'm still cool.
This guilt keeps coming back.
I
You
feel-
keep bringing up the guilt.
You're right. I feel guilty.
Then don't do these shows. What are you doing here if you feel so guilty about it?
I don't. I feel guilty about not feeling guilty.
That's more to the point. Now you're
Right.
starting to be honest with yourself.
Right.
It's so easy to say I came out here because it's a land of opportunity. Well, that's really great, you know. But if you're not here, why else are you here? There's the good old wreck your life, you know, scenario. That's always pretty popular. But if you change your mind about wrecking your life, now what do I do? There's a lot less self-reflection about why people are here than there is about most other places. What a lost opportunity that is.
Sinatra and the mob are gone, but there remains still a certain sentimental attachment to the way things used to be. There were rules then, a way that things were done. And when they weren't done, there was always the desert and a hole in the ground. Also, there were lounges and rug joints and places where a man could get a proper plate of Italian-American meatballs and spaghettis. Thankfully, there still are such places. Places like this, the Bootlegger. It's a family operation. Mama Maria's family has been running it for 41 years. You got your veal parm, your fettuccine alfredo, your steaks and shrimps. Don't forget the iceberg wedge with the blue cheese, which, believe me, you want.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bootlegger. Thank you very much. This is Charlie Schaefer, my esteemed father. My name is Laura Schaefer, and we're your entertainment for the evening.
I've got the blues, I feel so lonely. I'd give the world if I could only make him understand. Oh, it surely would be grand.
The Bootlegger has a reputation for being a locals joint, and it is. But there's a lot of out-of-towners, too, sentimental fools like me, who, if they don't exactly miss Frank Sinatra, definitely miss Dino and Louis Prima and Keely Smith.
Come home.
When I was 19, I got my first show on the Strip, and it was a small casino, which is not there anymore now. It's been imploded for something newer, bigger, and better.
Baby, won't you please come home?
And what I do anyway, it's part jazz, part nostalgia. But I mean, obviously I do it with a heavy dose of nostalgia because I'm recreating the whole look, not just singing the old songs. Which is what makes it fun for me.
To call your name. When you left, you broke my heart.
Pick one, Dean Martin or Frank Sinatra. You get to see one of them live in a small room like this.
Frank Sinatra.
Going with Dino.
I like Dino as a person better because I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him.
Whereas Sinatra, you'd have a hard time hearing something good. There does seem to be a soundtrack to Old Vegas.
A soundtrack upon check-in?
Right, yeah. Does that help?
Who, me or
Yeah,
any
does it help
other
you?
entertainer?
Well, an affection for the classics, an expectation that while I'm here, I should hear some standards.
I don't know if there's a certain place that people stay who are sentimental about Las Vegas, because there are very few hotels left that were there in the old days. They've all been imploded.
They've recreated ancient Rome, sort of, on the Amalfi Coast in Paris. You would think somebody would want to recreate Vegas. I'd go there.
I'd work there.
Yeah.
Every hour, every day, you won't hear me say, oh, baby, won't you please come on home? Baby, won't you please come home?
Thank you very much.
You know, you used to be able to go see Louis Prima 3 a.m., have breakfast, and then go out and watch an atomic bomb explode in the distance. I mean, that
That sounds like a good time.
I would like to live in.
Was it better before? Is it better now?
Well,
Is
you
it
know,
different.
It's better to talk about before. People loved having their mob stories, and there's that weird romance of bad people.
Yeah.
I don't think it actually was better. I think it was really good if you were Sinatra.
Penn Jillette, another cog in the entertainment machine, though at a somewhat more elevated level. Of the live acts left in Vegas, his might be the biggest draw. I suggested this place because Raku off the Strip is where every chef I know who knows this town said I should go. The Japanese modern izakaya known as one of the best places to eat in Vegas. Casual, but pricey. Pricey because the ingredients, many from around the world. There's sea urchin from Santa Barbara. Okay, that's not too far, but good. The tuna is from Spain, where it's best. The fresh river crab from Japan.
That was good, right?
Yeah, delicious.
I didn't even know oysters came that big.
Oh, yeah. Isaki sashimi, isaki belly, juicy deep-fried chicken, hamachi belly, and one of my favorites, fish collar, where all the best, tastiest, moistest, meatiest bits hide their favors. Penn has been living here and performing here for over 20 years. He knows.
The thing about magic is you cannot see it electronically. Many people who come to Vegas are people that see 1 or 2 live shows a year. And if you see 1 or 2 live shows, you might as well see something that you can only see live.
Right.
But you can never, ever see a magician anyway but live.
These days, for better or worse, live acts, live performers are being squeezed out in favor of EDM, electronic dance music. It's a DJ's world, and where once they used to say cocaine was God's way of telling you had too much money, now maybe EDM is.
We get invited to all the openings of the new clubs, but I simply don't understand it. And I'm embarrassed I don't understand it.
Are we just old?
I think that might be it.
Or are we non-douchey?
I don't know. You want to spin at the latter, I'm afraid it might be the former.
Used to be a whole spectrum of entertainers who existed almost entirely in Vegas. Danny Gans was huge here. Wayne Newton. They were gods. But what's the big money draw now? This. Come, ye lords and princelings of douchedom, hear my clarion call. Anointeth thyself with gel and heavenly body spray. Maketh the sign of the devil horns with thine hands. Let there be high-fiving and the hugging of many bros. For this is the kingdom and the power. Now frolic and maketh it to rain.
The cockpit. Power.
It is, man. It's crazy.
Just press a button and people respond.
They do, man.
Wednesday night at the Marquee. DJ Jason Lima works for the house. Tonight at Marquee and at other clubs like it around Vegas, somewhere between 8,000 and 10,000 people are going to stop by and drop a whole load of cash.
I mean, it's not just coming in here and ordering a bottle and sitting there and drinking it.
Right.
You're getting a full-on group experience.
The new money, the new Vegas, where the take at the big nightclubs is outpacing the take from gambling and slots, where everybody, for the right price and with enough sparkles and the right mix, can be a winner.
After you finish work, how long does it take for your adrenaline to level up?
At least an hour.
What are your dreams like, man?
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I close my eyes and I still see the strobes. Ears are ringing. I still got like flashes of strobe lights in the
Las Vegas is an adult playland, and that's what we intend to be. If people want to see Mickey Mouse, they can go 175 miles down the road. If they want to see Bugsy Siegel under a rock, they stay here.
Is there a Mr. Vegas, like Elvis or Wayne Newton or Bugsy Siegel used to be? If there is, it would probably be this guy, former mayor Oscar Goodman. A man who knows, allegedly, and to the best of my knowledge, where all the bodies are buried, some of them equally allegedly, by some of his former clients. We meet over drinks at Oscar's, the steakhouse that bears his name and boasts beef, booze, and broads.
You had some colorful clients. Who was nice and who was less fun to have a...
Well, the truth of the matter is, all my clients were nice to me because I kept them out of prison.
Did alleged mob guys know how to eat?
My mother used to say two things, she said. She's the greatest lady. She said, Oscar's clients don't hurt anybody, they just kill each other.
Right.
And she also said, Oscar's clients take us to the best restaurants.
They knew where to go.
They knew where to go, yeah. And always treated right. I mean, they were always treated like kings and queens.
Did the feds hold it against you? I mean, you know, you were just doing your job, but I mean,
They didn't see it that way.
They didn't see it
They
that
thought
way.
I was a consigliere, as a matter of fact. In order to murder somebody, they had to get my permission. I mean, that's how stupid these people were.
Anthony the Ant Spilotro, Meyer Lansky, these were gentlemen not unknown to Mayor Goodman.
Well, a lot of people tell you that it's a better place when the mob was running it, and in many ways, that's true.
There were rules then that mattered. You know, the old saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Back when the mob ran things, there was a certain urgency to that suggestion.
Well, we saw that with Princess Harry. I mean,
right. I mean,
and that was a perfect example. I mean, here's a guy who was here
Yeah.
having a good time in the old Vegas. That would have never happened. There would
Right.
never have been a disclosure. In today's modern age, it was all over the world in moments.
Moments.
Yes.
It says something about the town that His Honor served 3 terms as mayor. He's an unabashed booster, entrepreneur, drinker of hard liquor, and gambler. And he was never shy about admitting it.
I mean, it's unique. It's its own sort of
But that's what
hothouse
Vegas,
environment.
but that's what Vegas is. Vegas is unique. But I'll tell you one thing. You go to the airport here, everybody's smiling. When they come in, they're smiling. They can't wait to lose their money. Then when they leave, they're smiling after they lost their money. So I think it's very, very special. It's a special kind of place that people can take their basest instincts and just let it fly. I think that's good. I have no problem with that at all.
When you come to Vegas, you see this. The lights and smoke and mirrors, the casino floors. But who manages the machine? Where do they come from? Beneath the floors, behind the walls, above the winking surveillance camera lenses, a whole other world, manned by thousands and thousands of waiters, maintenance people, repairmen, chefs, engineers, plumbers, and croupiers. 3 shifts a day, they slip in and out of the casinos almost unseen through their own entrances. But it's these people who've seen it all, seen everything, night after night. Benny's been working here since Caesars opened in August of 1966. He's dealt cards to everybody.
I dealt to Diana Ross, Harry Belafonte, Sinatra, Sammy Davis.
Sinatra was not supposed to be particularly amiable at the table.
Sinatra was class.
Really?
It was class. It was the jungle. But those were good days. But it's nice now, too.
Would you describe yourself as a degenerate gambler?
Yeah, I definitely have been. I'm trying to move past that. We have a 2-year-old at home, so I'm working in that phase, but I'll always have that gambling gear. There's no doubt about it.
Eric and Erica Lindgren are professional gamblers, poker players to be precise. It's routine for them to sit down to a game with a bankroll of $500,000. Tonight, slightly smaller stakes.
Hey, Benny, how do you like my chances?
Good. Good.
That's a trained answer.
Instead of actual poker, we're set up with a dumbed-down for the camera version of Texas Hold'em. You play against the house. The odds, to say the least, are stacked against you.
Oh, here's a winner. Here's a winner. Yeah, 2 pair. He's cutting up over there. See how easy it is? You got this game down.
Uh-oh. Those are famous last words.
All right, let's put out a hundo. Let's see what happens.
All right, now we have a pair of 7s.
I want to bet.
Okay. I have trips.
Oh.
It's going to be pretty hard to beat.
You're a dead man, Benny.
I'm a dead man.
I bet again.
Okay. 2 pair. Pair of deuces.
Oh.
2 pair. Pair of 10s.
Oh, no.
Pair of kings.
Benny.
Oh, full house.
Goodness, Benny.
Huh?
You got a full house. This is unbelievable. Is there like a cooler standing behind us?
All right, well, that works for me.
Thank you very much.
This was what we call a learning experience in my case.
That was fun. We got away with our shirts.
Let's not do it again.
Yeah, let's never do it again.
It's easy to find people that'll help you untangle a mess, but somebody's got to be the one to create the mess in the first place that calls for untangling. Where's our metaphor here? Easy to tangle, but untangling this. This is going to be so much fun.
Anthony Bourdain is an artist and a born and bred Las Vegas native. After many adventures, and I'm guessing some misadventures as well, he chose to live here.
To what degree am I complicit in the worst of our city by making art that glorifies the city? I don't profit directly from what those people do, but of course I do because I live in the city and that money rolls all around us. But how do we live with it? It's not why and where other people come from who do the grotesque things people do here. It's how do we live here, complicit in it. And that's the big issue, is to be able to be self-reflective about the place, or you got to just go and stay high all the time because of the shame. I mean, you know, which is another popular way to deal with living here.
Is Vegas a friendly town?
Yeah, always friendly, because that's our job.
But I mean, to itself, you know,
well, that's a great
you're a
question.
local.
No. I mean,
No.
Not a bit. This town's never had any respect whatsoever for the people who just happen to live here. In the old days, we were co-conspirators in those days. We weren't citizens. The new authorities, the new power, is exactly as anonymous as the old power. No phone number, no access, not a chance.
There has been for some years an art community in Vegas. You know, like art, that makes your life, all our lives, better and makes us think. Granted, Vegas is a town designed to make you not think, to separate you from your money in as pleasurable a way as possible. So pleasurable that even after you limp out of town, leaking from your ass with nothing in your pockets, you want to come back and do it again. Reflection, not so good.
As a resident, what are the general rules of survival?
Don't cry about being broke. I mean, if I'm broke, more than likely it's because I threw away my money, and too bad for me because I didn't get lucky.
Don't cry about being broke, okay?
I gave that away.
What's another one?
It's the smile. That is absolutely local characteristic.
This is a service industry town.
One of our roles here has always been to take away excess money from people who don't know what to do with it, and who can't think of a better idea about how to spend their money. We'll always take it. Well,
is that worse than before, or?
The wrong is there are people with that kind of income who could put it to so many thrilling uses and can think of nothing so crass and boring than to wave the money in the air and throw it away. How loathsome. But within us, within those of us who live here, is that challenge. And this has always been. Here we are.
You are sitting at Lotus of Siam, best Thai restaurant in Vegas by far, one of the best Thai restaurants in America.
Jet Tila has been here before. An LA guy, he came out here to do 4 years as executive chef at Encore, a Wynn casino on the Strip. He's a reigning authority on Thai food, but really everybody who loves Thai food knows about this place.
What you should order here should only be Northern. If you go to the back of the menu, it says Northern Specialties. If you come here and eat chicken with cashew nuts and drunken noodles, someone should punch you in the face.
Right.
It's one of those restaurants.
Saipen Chutama is the owner and chef. Now get this, and it's important. You don't do pad Thai here. You do what they are uniquely superb at, which is specifically the food of northern Thailand.
Num prik.
Oh, yeah, of course, love it.
Literal translation, chili dip. It's really more of like a composed, room temperature salad. Nam khao tod is a puffed, crispy rice salad with preserved pork sausage.
Well, that's good.
Jackfruit salad.
Jackfruit salad.
Jackfruit salad. This is hung lei, a pork curry, braised down with garlic and ginger.
This pork is amazing.
Isn't that great? And that's Northern log.
Right.
Very important dish.
Whoa, that looks really pretty.
This is cow soy. This is the food my grandma made.
That's perfection, man.
Oh. What I love about Vegas Asian food is on one street you got the best Szechuan food, the best Cantonese food, and you drive down the street and you get the best Thai food. It's a funky, awesome Asian
How did that
place.
happen?
Gambling.
But I mean, well, they're high rollers who come into town and they need the good.
A dude with a $2 to $10 million credit line at Wynn is going to go eat a $10 Chinese meal because it's the closest thing he has to home food. I'm gonna go eat Asian food, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna drop $5 million more bucks, and then go home.
And this is what avant-garde cooking is. People think that we want to do things in a way because we want to be cool. No, we do it because really we believe we are increasing the value of the product we're working with. We are giving you the essence.
E by Jose Andres. Tonight, 3 seats. Tucked away in the back of another of Jose's restaurants, Jaleo. Behind the guys making paella over open flame in the center of a crowded dining room. Quiet, serene, a kind of magic. This is granted a far cry from the $1 shrimp cocktail and the all-you-can-eat buffets groaning under the weight of 1,000 carbs. Iberico ham and bean soup with black and roasted garlic. Jamon, baby, the world's best, like from Spain. Nitro almond cup, a frozen shell made from a puree of Marcona almonds, filled with almond milk espuma and finished with Andalusian caviar.
You know, Chef, this meal is working very well. My palate is open. I'm intrigued. I'm only growing more hungry and excited. The desired effect is taking hold.
If you are a famous chef and you're lured, as so many are, to the rivers of green promised by Vegas, it's nice if you can get yourself a playroom.
So, gentlemen, this is El Vermouth.
So it's mussels, olives with an escabeche foam.
He doesn't use the word foam.
I will say air.
Air.
Water. It goes all over the place. It's a mess. A chef cannot do anything with this. Air gives us the opportunity. All of a sudden, water is not water anymore. Water has a body, belongs.
The truffle egg, a gelée of truffles formed into an egg shape with an actual yolk suspended in the center.
And this is the idea of what if we will be feeding our chickens truffles? Will their eggs become like this?
Served with onion puree, a jazabal cream, and finished with more, lots more, shaved white truffle.
This is crispy chicken skin and escabeche.
I'm sliding this off right into my face.
Incredible.
So, gentlemen, this is your portion of the salt roasted foie gras, and Brian's gonna come finish it with a clementine sauce for you.
And light is key, light and flavorful.
Gentlemen, this is your next course. Cocoches al pio pio.
This is squid ink sauce?
Yep.
Awesome.
This is Secreto Iberico de Bellota. Secreto, or the secret, it's the secret cut of the Iberian pig,
yes.
located underneath the front shoulder.
This is an homage of the goodness of the sea meets the goodness of the earth. You know the work that goes into creating a menu like this? Hold on. That we put the work doesn't mean it's good. When a food critic, they come and they say, the chef was not there. And I look at the food critic saying, this is almost like a lack of respect. Who do you think these people are? Where do you think they come from? What do you think their careers are? Every one of those amazing thousands of chefs, sous chefs that we have across the world, they are as good, if not better, than the guys that have the big name on top with neon letter.
There is not 1 acre of preserved Mojave Desert in the city limits of Las Vegas. Why would you preserve this? This desolation is not nurturing. We can't be here unless there's a lot of technology supporting our present. And so, there's a sense of the city versus nature. This is not our friend.
You'd think, looking at the vast lakes, the canals, the fountains of Vegas in the middle of a desert, the flush of 100,000 toilets, that the casinos and what they bring would constitute an obscene waste of water. And indeed, water is at an ever more desperate premium as the water levels in the Colorado River Reservoir at Lake Mead decrease at an alarming rate. But it ain't the casinos that are the culprits. In fact, Vegas casinos are a model of water efficiency and conservation. Main culprit? The all-American lawn, a little square of green. Robert Kern is water police. He patrols the Vegas streets looking for evidence of water violations.
There's finally some water in the gutter, actually, on both sides. This is not their day. We're in an area where there shouldn't be any watering, yet there's water here. So that's what we do. We drive around looking for something like that to give them a little educational visit. Hey, you're not supposed to water today.
So you don't wrestle them to the ground, cuff them, and drag them in?
No, we do not. Although we can go to a fee.
Around how much?
$80.
$80. What about the...
Then it doubles.
Then it
160,
doubles.
320.
And it just keeps going.
Yeah.
It seems to me a losing battle to try to keep your grass green. Do you
Right.
really need a lawn in the first place?
Well, most everyone that lives here came from the Midwest or the East Coast, and it was all lush and green, and that's what Vegas was 20 years ago.
It was lush and green.
Sure, sure.
The city assigns watering days to control usage and also encourages xeriscaping, a landscaping style focused on drought-resistant plants and efficient irrigation. And if you don't get with the program, there's a hole out there in the desert for you, Dad. Okay, not really. You get like a notice pinned to your door or something. But some people, they want the lawn.
Yep.
Gotta have it.
And they can have it, just don't water on the wrong days.
How critical is it?
Very. I mean, there's no snow on the Western Sierra, so we don't get any continued flow into Colorado dumping into Lake Mead.
Right.
So unless something drastically changes, which there is no foreseeable relief in the near future, but gotta stay positive.
For the first 30, 40 years of the development of a town, you just couldn't conceive of what was ahead. What we had, whatever was the newest thing that was happening, was so spectacular and wonderful, and oh my gosh, we've reached a new eastern edge or western, northern edge. The odds are slim to zero that we're going to extend to yet a further horizon. It was inconceivable. So there's the thing. So what does the desert do? It exceeds our ambition.
In Vegas, nothing is permanent. It constantly eats itself, tears down, builds up, expands according to no known or easily understood plan. An organic thing, responding to the dark dreams of the American subconscious. Come frolic. Live like Caesar, or make money off those who do. Drop a few moist bills at a gas station slot. See the full spectrum of human folly and commit some follies of your own.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la, sha-la-la-la-la-la.
This house came to be built by Dr. Blake, who was in the East India Company service. My grandfather came to be nominated to the body called the Council of State, which used to be a part of British India.
It was another time, one that few still remember. The India before partition, when these rooms, this house, was part of the seat of power.
I had the privilege of being born in this house upstairs.
This was the Maharaja's bed. I'm in his chambers at present.
And it was the routine that we'd all parade up into my grandfather's room to wish him good morning. And then we'd all come down for breakfast.
The walls tell a story. Many stories.
There used to be a lot of animosity. There were two very divided classes in India. So there was a lot of tension between the ruled and the rulers. But that was a different time, you know. Now I think back and it's more like a fairy tale.
Day one in northern India, near the Pakistan border. This is Amritsar, the Indian Punjab's largest city. Population, about 1 million. This is a part of India I've never seen, a place I've always been curious about. Home to some pretty legendary cuisine. In Amritsar, they have a saying: the best food isn't cooked in people's homes. You find it on the streets.
Punjab, oh, you up in Punjab? Peace to my Delhi fam in Karol. And Tony, you a OG. Jiski Bibi Moti. Probably got fat off the makki di roti. Don't take tension, don't be fussy. Sit back, relax, have a cold glass of lassi.
Punjabis are known for their adventurous spirit, as brave warriors who spread throughout the world bringing great food with them.
Don't worry about no traffic. The elements move and weave around like it's magic. Piece of hot sugar on the beat, good looking. Beat sample sounds of my mom at home cooking.
In fact, much of the good stuff we refer to simply as Indian food comes from here.
Like fine at my mouth. Peace to my brother Tony Kano from No Doubt. Beat made from the Tawa and the Cooker CT. Golden Temple, Amritsar, hell of a city.
The Punjab of the early 20th century saw some of the most violent resistance to British rule. And when the British finally cashed out in 1947, they carved off a huge piece, what is now Pakistan. And it remains a potential flashpoint for conflict. But that's easy to forget when you first smell the food.
Good. There we go.
Kesar da Daba. Daba meaning side of the road food stall. And there are like countless dabas to choose from in this town. But this one is legendary.
See Tony eat vegetables. And like it.
You eat around this part of the world, Punjab in particular, get used to eating a lot of vegetarian.
Chickpeas, dal.
And India is one of the few places on earth where, even for me, that's not a burden.
Ooh, what's that? Oh, I'll take that. Yeah, right here, my good man. That's good sod.
In the Punjab, meat or no meat, you're almost guaranteed a free-for-all of intense colors, flavors, and spices.
Unlike some of the joyless vegetarian restaurants, in my sad experience, the vegetables here are actually spicy, all taste different, different textures, and served with extraordinarily good bread. It's got this multi-tiered, crispy in the outside, chewy in the middle. It's a whole different experience.
If this was what vegetarianism meant in most of the places that practice it in the West, I'd be at least half as much less of a dick about the subject.
Look, hippie, if you made bread this good, I might eat at your restaurant.
Around here, one of the first things you notice that's different from the rest of India, turbans. Everywhere. The symbol of self-respect, bravery, and spirituality for Sikh men. Amritsar is the home, the spiritual center of the Sikh faith, the world's 5th largest and maybe most misunderstood religion. In the heart of Amritsar stands the majestic Golden Temple, the Sikh equivalent of the Vatican. Sikhs are fundamentally against any caste system, believers in religious tolerance, but they are just as fundamentally warlike when it comes to defending their principles and what they see as their territory.
Welcome to Golden Temple.
Thank you.
Today is a Guru Purab, one of the most auspicious days of the Sikh calendar. Pilgrims from all over the world come to worship, walk the perimeter, and bathe in the holy pool. All are welcome, of any faith or caste, to remove their shoes, wash their feet, cover their heads, and take part in a simple meal. This is the langar, a free vegetarian meal served to many thousands of visitors from every walk of life, every day of the year.
They serve 16 hours a day?
16 hours a day.
For how many years continuously?
300 years.
300 years.
Everyone doing the cooking, the serving, the washing of thousands and thousands of metal plates and utensils are volunteers. The sound is extraordinary.
We have a teaching that everyone should serve all 3 things, money, mind, and body, should be served to other people, free of cost. And that's what we do.
Walking me through it all today, Donwant Singh.
Now, for a religion that's so concerned with tolerance, where does the Grand Punjab military tradition come from? Because it's a very, very powerful one.
So powerful people, so hardworking people. Every Sikh you see, if he is baptized, he wears a small sword. In our Prophet, when we get baptized, he says, you must protect yourself, you must protect others, and you must protect your country. So that makes us what we are.
Morning. The smoke from countless burning fields covers Amritsar in a thick haze. The ancient art of Pelwani evolved from Indian wrestling techniques that date back to the 5th century BC.
Ready, start.
Training is rigid, as this is not just a sport, but a way of life. Wrestlers live and train together and have strict rules of diet and personal conduct. No smoking, no drinking, no contact with women.
Here we go. actually, so that I could get out of gym class. I was a dirty, dirty fighter.
It is an all too natural segue between the aggressive posturing of opposing bodies of Pelwani and this. The entire border between India and Pakistan has only one crossing. Here at Wagah. Every sunset, the border is officially closed with this bit of national theater. Wearing nearly duplicate uniforms, the Indian military and Pakistani Rangers partake in a game of theatrical contempt. Clearly, it's a popular show.
So where are we?
We are right next to Pakistan.
India and Pakistan were once one country, ripped apart in one of the hastiest, ill-considered partitions imaginable.
Beyond there, no more fence?
No more fences.
So it's once you get past there,
Yeah.
you can go straight into Pakistan if you
yes,
want.
Yeah.
So
See,
they're-
the
they're-
problem is, the thing is, India is trying to stop people from coming in. The infiltrators, drug dealers and terrorists.
Uday is working on a documentary about the India-Pakistan border.
Right.
No one wants to go into Pakistan.
No one wants to go into Pakistan.
No one wants to, in their right mind, wants to go into Pakistan.
Well, really? That's a fairly decisive statement. So they put up the fence, but the fence is on the Indian side.
Yeah, it's 150 meters from the border.
Right. So beyond that fence, still Indian farmland.
Yes.
So people who live over here can farm over there.
Can farm over there.
The Punjab is a fertile region in an otherwise very dry country. This is India's breadbasket. With over 1 billion people currently residing in India, every inch of fertile Punjabi soil has great value.
These are people who owned land over there.
Yes.
Then they put the fence.
Yes.
Suddenly your life became difficult.
Exactly. They are restricted by many things. They can only grow some kind of crops, and they can't farm more than 8 hours in a day.
How long does it take to get back and forth?
The border security force mans these gates, so they have times, when they can enter and come out.
How much farther can we go before they start to get worried?
Yeah, I think we can just go till that pole.
When India and Pakistan were separated, the attempt was to try to draw a line across religious lines.
Exactly.
Drained by the colossal task of fighting 2 world wars, in 1947, Great Britain decided to end their nearly 200-year rule over India. In an attempt to prevent what the colonials saw as an inevitable civil war between Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs, the British commissioned Sir Cyril Radcliffe, a lawyer from Wales, to draw up a new border.
He was given 2 months,
2 months to divide.
2 months to divide the...
Create a new country, basically.
So he took the map and just drew a line. People died because of the displacement. Unofficially, they say it's 2 million people. When Jains fight, the minnows get trampled upon.
In one of the largest exchanges of populations in history, many millions of people fled their homes. Almost immediately, religious violence broke out on a mass scale. This is exactly what the partition had been intended to avoid.
Do people here still have families over there?
Yeah, they do. When the line was drawn, there were villages which were split into half. There are some houses where you enter from India and you exit from Pakistan.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
This part of Punjab and that part of Punjab, they were one state. So the culture, the eating habits, everything is very similar.
Well, that's a popular metaphor for India. Pakistan is twins, separated at birth.
They were never twins. I mean, it was one country, and you can say dismembered.
Right.
If you cut a body in 2, they're not going to become twins.
Right.
So it's sad, you can see them. I mean, they're doing the same work as you're doing. They dress the same, they look the same. But that you can't talk to them.
It is an ongoing struggle, an enduring cause of paranoia, visible all across the region. 2 nations with atomic arsenals who have showed, if nothing else, a terrifying willingness to use them. From the horrific 2006 train bombings to the militant attacks in Mumbai, the threat of terrorism along this border is a daily concern. Want something good? Really, really good when in Amritsar? Something local, regional, iconically wonderful? You can't say you've had the Amritsar experience until you've had a little kulcha in your life.
Kulcha. This is the iconic dish of Punjab.
Yes, that's the speciality here.
Kulcha, a perfect little flavor bomb of wheat dough pressed against the side of a very, very hot clay oven, slathered with butter, and served with a spicy choli, a chickpea curry, on the side. Did I mention the butter?
How's it? Nice?
Delicious. Everyone in Amritsar seems to be an expert on kulcha, including this lady, Navroop.
It's a chutney, and this is all radish.
Very, very, very good. Generally speaking, Punjabis are famous for being a warrior class. Taller, bigger.
Yes, we're big.
Still, maybe not fighters so much, but still eaters.
Oh, yeah. Big time, yes. The religion doesn't matter. Food is religion here.
First time in Amritsar. What are you feeling this place?
Checking off my list of things to do in the Punjab, I gotta score some animal protein. It's time. I've been going all Morrissey for like 2 days now, and frankly, that's enough. I need chicken.
Like we are in the ass end of nowhere here. Where am I?
It's known as Veera chicken. Huh? That's very famous for chicken.
When we're talking must-haves, tandoori chicken is just that.
Add some lemon in this, you will enjoy it.
Oh man, it's delicious. This type of establishment, dhaba?
Dhaba, it's called dhaba. Huh? You know, this is the most successful business here. Anybody, you open a dhaba tomorrow, it will be a success.
But if you're going to do chicken, you better be good.
Yeah, it's a good place for that. Would you like to have something else?
There's like a roti with ground mutton or ground lamb.
That's called naan. That's butter naan.
Keema naan, mutton ball, dough. And the special ingredient, magic hands. And believe me when I tell you, this shit is good. So good that people snap it up the second it comes out of the tandoor oven. Hey, that's mine.
Is it good?
It's sensational. Wow. People do love their food.
Definitely. I love eating.
The movies and television in this country is fantastic.
Thousands of films are made per year.
I don't even understand what's going on. I mean, everybody dances and sings. I don't get it.
Would you like to have something else?
Oh, this is good. Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, yeah. good. Thank you. No, nothing. Thank you. It's delicious. So good.
Leaving the fertile plains of the Punjab behind, I'm headed out towards the Himalayas. And getting there, at least the way I'm going, hasn't changed much in the last 100 years. All aboard.
This is gonna be suboptimal seating. Yeah, I don't think this reclines. Thank God they have relaxed attitudes towards prescription drugs. Before you enter the gateway to the Himalayas, you better self-medicate. Meanwhile, I've been like 24 hours without a bite of food. I arrive, it's like, oh, well, there's snacks on the way. Great, get a bag of peanuts.
Truth be told, I'm an angry, bitter man when I board. I'm guessing there ain't a Shoney's or a P.F. Chang on the way.
It's kind of cute, little train. It's so little. It's the Universal Tours. I want to go on the King Kong ride.
While my stomach growls, I become the kind of traveler I warn against. Gripey, self-absorbed, immune to my surroundings. But as my brightly colored little train heads up into the hills from Kalka Station, known as the gateway to the Himalayas, my worldview starts to improve. The unnaturally bright colors of India start to pleasurably saturate my brain. The views from the window of ridiculously deep valleys, 100-year-old bridges. It's, well, breathtaking. My fellow passengers, too, are irresistibly charming. The school kids in their uniforms cheer in unison every time we pass through one of the tunnels. I'd pretty much forgotten about my hunger until the whistle stopped at Barod.
When I have one of those and 2 of these.
This place is named for a Colonel Barod, the British engineer tasked with building the line up to Shimla.
Thank you.
The station and the adjacent tunnel bearing his name are rumored to be haunted.
It's delicious.
Already behind schedule and plagued by cost overruns, Barod screwed up. When he realized the 2 ends of this tunnel didn't meet in the middle, he shot himself. It's the kind of personal accountability I'd like to see more of, frankly. Or is that just me? But all my snarkiness fades as I reflect, and one can't help but reflect on what it took to dig, drag, blast, and tunnel one's way up this route back in the day. Back in the beginning, making the trip to Shimla required a somewhat uncomfortable 3-day trek up the mountain by foot, or horse, or hand-carried palanquin. The stats are impressive. A climb of around 5,000 feet, over 100 tunnels, more than 800 bridges, an engineering feat, a job that, when you consider the time, defies imagining. In the building of this railroad, many died. Many, many died.
When you look at that painting, when you stand out front in the garden and look out at the view, can you picture the way it was?
I've been to many places where it reminded me of what Shimla had been when the British first came and settled there. I have a penchant for such places. It is a kind of a throb that I feel.
Fond memories of British rule? Maybe not what you'd expect to hear. But Kawa Ratinjit Singh, that's Reggie for short, his family was different. Indian royalty with palaces, the 1% of the 1%. So life for Reggie as a young boy was, relative to the millions and millions of others his age, enchanted. Shimla is from a time before partition, when nearly the entire ruling class of British India would move to hill stations in the hotter months. Shimla was once known as the queen of all hill stations. Here, the colonials created England in miniature, complete with Tudor architecture, rose gardens, afternoon tea.
My grandfather, it's very difficult to describe what did he do. Well, quite frankly, he did nothing. But he entertained hugely.
Garden parties, fancy dress balls, elephant hunts. The remnants of British rule can still be seen and felt. This is particularly true of one house, Chapsley.
My family was very fortunate that they were able to buy this house because it was a famous house.
The house was purchased by Reggie's grandfather, the last Maharaja of Kapurthala.
Those Brits really left beautiful buildings.
From a distance, it looks much the same as it must have when the Maharaja slept here.
Check out the tub.
Locked in a constant battle against time and nature. Barbed wire does little to keep Shimla's ever-encroaching monkey population at bay. Stripped of their wealth and their kingdoms, the one-time royals all across India have had to either sell their estates or, like Reggie, turn them into hotels and guest houses in order to hold on. Ring a buzzer, and a servant appears.
Man, they bring you hot water bottles at night, put them under the covers. Butlers keep popping in, build a nice fire.
A great facet of my childhood was how my grandfather entertained. His table came to be known as perhaps the most famous in northern India because he was a gourmet connoisseur of food.
Tonight, dinner at Chapsley, an elaborate Anglo-Indian menu from Reggie's childhood.
I'll put on my apron first.
My fellow guests, two of Reggie's friends, Raja Basin, a historian on the subject of Shimla, and Rakesh Varlalsud, the barrister.
There's so much history here. I mean, while I take a dim view of colonialization, it's very hard to resist the charms of a house like this.
That's quite understandable, actually. You've got 100 years of very, very intense history funneled into a very small place.
And this house used to house the Secretary of State to the crown.
What am I eating? This is eggs œufs à la Florentine. Oh, that's good. This was a small town.
A small town with a very, very big government.
Shimla enjoys the unique distinction of having been the summer capital of India, and surprisingly, it was the capital of Burma during the war days.
So here you have this tiny little village up on the hill, connected to the rest of the world by a narrow mountain path, and they rule approximately a fifth of the human race for 8 months every year. In today's context, it would almost seem bizarre.
Mulligatawny soup, classic example of what we think of as Indian food in the West, but not at all. This was originally a soup made by Indian chefs to accommodate British tastes, is that correct?
It was something what you would call halfway between a regular dal, a lentil, which you would eat, and a broth. The glassy chops.
Mutton glassy chops.
Basically meat cooked in its own fat.
And it would have a lot of curry on it. It's a misnomer. This meat is not actually mutton. It is chevron.
Here, back before the rail line, it would be a difficult trip.
Yes.
But once they were up and running, I mean, there were many servants to look after your every need. You had a fireplace, a hearth in every room.
And people on the regular payrolls whose only job was to shoo monkeys off the grounds.
Wow.
You would be carried around in palanquins, little box in which you sat in a curtained box.
This man would go stamping his staff in the ground and the bells would jingle and the common folk would give way. And normally they were not even supposed to look in the direction.
Mm-hmm.
It was bad manners.
Right.
It wasn't easy for the people who built the town. It was India that paid the bill for all this grandeur, for all this pomp, for all this show.
They did it at our expense and with our money.
At the end of the meal, there's coffee, brandy, and cigars in the sitting room, as one does, or once did.
I hope you enjoyed the dinner too.
Oh, very much. It was delicious. Really wonderful. A lot of history in this house.
And one can be forgiven for maybe briefly forgetting what it took to build this lost kingdom. And how much the world has changed around it. The Monkey Temple looks down on Shimla, overrun by its namesakes. Twisting up further into the Himalayas, I find myself at a place known as the Land of the Gods. Nearly every village credited with having its own deity. Getting there, you might well have an opportunity to meet one of those deities. As you tear around narrow, guardrail-free mountain roads, overlooking terrifying drop-offs.
Like, I could do heights, like, you know, I've done the jumping out of planes thing a number of times. But I feel it, you know, like looking over a precipice like that one, I feel it in my knees. Ooh. You know, like if my knees could vomit with terror, they would be. They'd be vomiting with terror right now. They should have little underwear stops on this road, you know, where you could like get a fresh pair. Every couple of miles, it's like, ooh, that was scary.
Overloaded buses, water trucks with worn brake pads, aggressive truck drivers can come wailing around the corner at any time. And they do, about every 2 minutes. Squeeze your cheeks tight and close your eyes.
Oh, the enchantment of India.
The remote locations of these isolated mountain villages has kept old traditions alive. Village fairs serve as an opportunity for families who live very far apart to get together, play games, eat, and partake in religious rites honoring local deities.
Quite a ride getting here.
Yeah. How do you enjoy that road?
White knuckles.
Meet Hashim. He runs motorcycle tours through these parts.
The Himalayas, it's the holy grail of motorcycling. You're traveling almost 1,500 kilometers on a trip. It's so unbelievably beautiful and diverse.
So we got here vegetable curry?
Yogurt-based curry, quite typical in these parts.
Vegetables again? Surprisingly, not a problem.
That's good.
Yeah.
This is one of the few places in the world that I could eat vegetarian every day.
Yeah.
And still be happy. Most of the people in this community, farmers, farming, agricultural.
Yeah.
What are they growing?
They do a lot of corn, potatoes, peas.
And weed. People growing marijuana here.
Yes, loads of it.
Loads of it. As an export product or for personal use? For
everything. Mix of everything. So you think you want to go check out the fair a little bit?
Yeah, let's take a walk through town.
Yeah,
See what's going on.
Predominantly an occasion for all these mountain villages to come together and, you know, socialize because, I mean, people are busy in their farms. They're not going to come and walk down and socialize with people. But this, you know, because it's autumn, everyone is done with all the agriculture.
Right.
Now they're just bedding down for winter. There's a lot of romance in the air.
I've been to Mumbai, Kolkata, Sundarbans, Rajasthan, Kerala. This is a part of India. It's different than any other part. Look, it's fascinating and beautiful. Oh yeah, sweet. Wow, things moving.
Voila. End of the road.
This is the story of one man, one chef, and a city. Also, it's about France and a lot of other chefs, and a culinary tradition that grew up to change the world of gastronomy. It's about a family tree, about the trunk from which many branches grew. And it's about food, lots of food, great food, some of the greatest food on earth.
I took a walk through this beautiful world. Felt the cool rain on my shoulder. Found something good in this beautiful world. I felt the rain getting colder. Sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la, sha la 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 la.
What is it exactly about this place? Over the past century, the system here, the tradition, whatever it is that took hold here, churned out a tremendous number of the world's most important chefs. Point, Chapelle, Trois Gros, Bocuse, and as importantly, influenced nearly all the rest of them.
Why Lyon? Why is this such a gastronomic capital, though? I mean, why Bocuse here? Why Trois Gros here? Why all of these great chefs?
Because Lyon it's really positioned between the north and the south.
Right.
You are locked in between Burgundy and Rhone.
Lyon, it's the second largest city in France, situated in the southeast of the country, midway between the Alps in the east and the Mediterranean to the south.
This was also a bottleneck when cars became the mode of transportation.
It goes right to the heart of the idea of the Michelin, driving the destination on the way to the...
Completely.
Out of that system came chefs like this guy, Daniel Boulud. Like Prince or Madonna, he needs really only one name. In New York or anywhere in the chef world, Daniel. The name of his three-star eponymous restaurant in Manhattan. One of many in an empire that stretches from London to Singapore. He came from here, a farm outside the city of Lyon, through the city's great kitchens to Le Cirque in New York, then his flagship.
So when did you start working with food?
14 years old, 1969. I started as an apprentice in Lyon.
He started as so many French cooks of his time did, at the very bottom, as a 14-year-old apprentice in the restaurant Nandron.
What was your first job in the kitchen?
They used to call me the beaver because I was just washing every single day. You know, they make you clean the vegetable, they make you carry all the boxes from the market.
14, you can't do that anymore, can you?
I don't think you can make him work 12 hours a day.
Right.
And pay him maybe $1 a month, you know what I mean? That's,
the good old days.
Yeah, well.
Why Lyon? Why here? Look at the fundamentals, the things the Lyonnais think of as birthrights. The right, for instance, to eat delicious cured pork in unimaginably delicious forms.
The art of charcuterie, Lyonnais can't live without it.
Look at this.
Terrine, pâté, sausages, rillettes. It's an art that's revered here and widely enjoyed.
Monsieur Renaud.
Bonjour.
Merci.
Avec grand plaisir.
Tony.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Tony, voilà.
Tony.
And few names garner more respect from aficionados of pig than Renaud.
Alors, on a le saucisson à cuire, là, en ce moment.
20 tons of saucisson just inside this room. The holiday are coming, and they're going mad with the production of saucisson.
Right.
In a relentlessly cold room, pork shoulder, belly, and fatback are fed in batches through a vertical chopper. A sprinkling of seasoning and spices. Removed in large balls of finely but not too finely chopped meat. You do not want to get your hand caught in one of these things. Then mixed to a smooth perfection with the dough hook.
A lot of work.
Spread out and layered for consistent seasoning, formed into shapes, and smacked to remove air bubbles.
Make sure the meat gets really tight.
Into the sausage machine and piped into organic casings. Trust me, it ain't easy.
No, Tony. Very light touch.
Let's see there, wise guy. Come on, let's see this. That's how you get pregnant.
It's all in the knee.
Yeah.
Just release at the end.
It's a serious workplace, but with production nearly done, this being France and all, it's time for a snack and some wine.
Doing what I'm good at, eating.
This is the saucisson à cuire.
This is so good.
That's sabaudet. Le vrai sabaudet, c'est ça.
Sabaudet, another of Lyon's most famous sausages, is made primarily from pig's head, with pork belly, pork shoulder, brandy, nutmeg, and allspice mixed in for flavor.
This always cooked, served hot?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's good.
That's what we're gonna eat with my father.
Oh, yeah?
I'm gonna get some here of the skin.
Saucisson de Lyon, le vrai saucisson de Lyon. Voilà, peut-être un peu trop.
He knows he does really good work. He knows how good his stuff is, you know? Cheers. Ah, nice. It's a beautiful day in Lyon.
Yeah.
In Lyon, a city that believes absolutely in the power of food, one name is everywhere. A name that brought honor, attention, and millions of visitors to the city. Though there have been many chef heroes in the annals of gastronomy, in Lyon and even across France, one name stands above all others. Murals, bridges, markets, casual brasserie, the name of Monsieur Paul is everywhere. But one of his most enduring institutions is this, l'Institut Bocuse, one of the nation's great culinary schools. Now, just to give you an idea of the standards here, the kind of traditional dishes, baseline, old school fundamentals you're expected to master before you move on to becoming a creative genius all your own, meet these guys. Mathieu Vianney, Joseph Viola, and the Institute's top dog, Alain Le Cossec, chefs and MOFs all, otherwise known as muffs.
Pretty much pay your flight home, private.
Master chefs.
Every 4 years, they have this MOF competition.
MOF is...
Meilleur ouvrier de France.
The master craftsman of France.
There's about 30 disciplines of craftsmen where you can acquire the MOF.
See that red, white, and blue around their necks? That means they made it through the brutally, unreasonably rigorous competition that pits hundreds of top chefs against each other, where only a handful survive.
So it's basically 4 or 5 every 4 years.
Certified by the highest in the land as being at the very top of their professions. Muff challenges often include ultra old school classics not unlike the one we're making today. Poularde en vessie. Thick slices of black truffle are slipped under the skin of a chicken from Bresse, the Rolls-Royce of chickens. It's then tied, slipped inside a pig's bladder, and steamed in court bouillon until tender.
The idea is to concentrate the flavor of the truffle inside the bladder. The dish they choose, it's always in reference to a chef of the past. And this was a dish La Mère Brasier was doing.
The at times brutal world of the Michelin star kitchen looks much of the time like a boys' club. But where did they come from? If we track back a bit to where it all began for Lyon and for many of the chefs whose names we now know and look up to, it all goes back to here. La Mère Brasier, the godmother, the original master, teacher, chef, force. 2 restaurants with 3 Michelin stars, an achievement no one, male or female, had ever attained, and for many years, Lyon's most famous chef. Her influence runs right through every kitchen that's come since, and her graduates carry on her recipes and her traditions. This was one of hers, a signature.
For the next hour, you keep putting hot bouillon like this. The most miserable thing is when the bladder explodes.
It's never a good thing when a bladder explodes.
As the chicken cooks, the bladder starts to really expand. You have to talk to your bladder.
I do all the time, believe me. Please hold up, please hold up. You're not here. People are looking. Wait till you get in between cars.
A rather luxurious sauce of more, much more black truffle and generous amounts of foie gras and triple cream. Perfect.
Nice milkshake.
Slightly pink around the legs, but cooked through, the flesh perfumed by the generous slices of truffle.
Who gets to eat like this? We do.
How is it, Tony?
It is divine.
You see the perfect balance in the sauce. If I was a chicken, that's the way I would like to end up.
Even if I weren't a chicken, I'd want to go like this. Die surrounded by truffles and foie gras and fine wine. Bonté et merci.
The roaring of a powerful engine, the screech of rubber, and off we go, kings of the road in our Citroën 2 Chevaux. 2 horsepower classic.
No power steering, huh?
No kidding.
It's like a toy car.
We're going back in time a bit, to the area where Danielle grew up, where life was very different from New York.
Were you the misfit of the family? Rebellious or...
I was quite rebellious. My parents were talking to me about the idea of taking over the farm. As the oldest son, that would have been the logical thing.
Right.
And
the farmer's life was not for you.
No.
He grew up in a true farm family. You milked the cows, tended the animals. Danielle claims he never even saw processed food until he was a teenager.
Oh.
Elle est à la poubelle, la voiture. J'en ai des garbage,
A brief respite by the side of the road, and some passers-by are apparently less appreciative of fine automobiles than we are. A short consultation with an automotive professional, and we're back on the road. Back, in this case, to school. This was Danielle's old elementary school in the nearby town of Saint-Pierre-de-Chandieu. I am automatically taken back to memories of my own school days. The smell of caustic pine cleaner, chalkboards, and fear. The cruel ministrations of tiny-eyed lunch ladies slopping can loads of prison chow into steam tables. Chipped beef, tuna noodle surprise, and powdered mashed potatoes that haunt my sense memories still.
Pumpkin soup today with onion, nutmeg, and chicken stock, but basic good pumpkin soup.
This is Marie, head chef, cook, host, and server for 320 hungry and very discriminating French school children ages 3 to 12. On the menu prix fixe today, a pumpkin soup, a fresh blanquette de poisson with white wine, vanilla, and shallot, served with homemade couscous, and a sauce supreme.
This is a very sophisticated meal for children.
That's a nice meal.
I was a little shit in school, frankly. And like a lot of the other students, we were like, I want pizza, pizza, pizza. Are the children here open to variety?
Oui, beaucoup. Enfin, ils aiment bien, ils mangent très bien.
You want to make sure that they always get a little challenged by how the food looks, then the smell, and also the taste after. I think she has a very strict budget.
In the USA, greatest country in the world, no doubt, we spend an average of $2.75 per student for public school lunch. Compare and contrast.
€1.05 maximum.
$1.50.
Did you eat this well when you were here?
Absolutely.
Je m'appelle Tony. Bonjour. Bonjour.
Bonjour, Daniel. Ça va?
The kids attack their food like hungry trenchermen, wiping out 3 servings in the time it takes me to eat 1. I guess they like it.
It's good.
Delicious.
Well, yeah, this is good.
I tell you, I don't think my chef in New York We do better.
I love they cook with wine, too. You're going to jail for that in the States.
Exactly, I'm making the sauce.
Crap, these kids eat fast. But look how fast this
Right.
kid eats. Turn your head, they'll eat your soup right out of your plate. My school lunchroom, you pushed up your tray, just like in prison. Stop, move it along. Stop,
Here
move it along.
they come to you and serve you. Most important thing, and that we see here, is the love Mary give to the food she make and to the kids she serves. I think it has a lot to do with the reaction they have to food.
Dessert is homemade fromage blanc, farmer cheese, with chocolate and orange segments.
What do you want to be when you grow up? Yeah, veterinarian. Fireman. Et toi, tu veux quoi? Engineering, machine gun.
He wants to make machine guns?
Engineer in machine gun, yeah.
Okay, keep an eye on that one, all right?
For a dope fiend, feeding the monkey means finding and sticking with heroin. For one poor guy, it's this: French food, in particular, Lyonnais food. The cautionary tale of Bill Buford. Writer, editor, literary lion with a perfectly good job as fiction editor at the prestigious New Yorker magazine. At the undignified age of 53, he pretty much pulled up stakes, put his whole past life on hold, and defected to France to learn how to cook.
What happened to you anyway, Buford? You used to have a good job. You hang out a couple of nights with Batali, and then next thing you know, you're living in France.
It's true.
And cooking.
I discovered a whole world that the rest of the world didn't seem to know about. Just a very compressed, intense, lifelong learned expertise and knowledge of food. It's not the Food Network, and it's not glossy magazines, and it's not something you get from reading a recipe book. It's something you get by just going deep. And I was afraid of France because I knew if I took on the subject of French food, I'd have to go really deep. So we went, and we thought we'd stay for 6 months, and we stayed for 5 years.
We meet at Bouchon Comptoir à Belle. A Bouchon is a uniquely Lyonnais institution, a casual, laid-back kind of a pub/bistro with a limited, usually old-school menu and always an unpretentious vibe. People come here to unwind, to relax, and to eat with abandon.
So you say outright recently in one of your published works that Lyon is better than Paris.
Lyon is a dark, tragic, beautiful, well-eating city, and everybody here knows that they have a really good life, and they don't give a flying fig if anybody else knows about it, because they don't actually want visitors.
If you were to pick one iconic dish to represent the Bouchon Lyonnais, it would have to be the quenelle brochet, a not particularly fabulous river fish, pike, folded into a light dough like pâte choux until fluffy and airy but still rich, adrift in a rich, creamy, almost bisque-like Nantua sauce made with crayfish, creme fraiche, white wine, and a splash of brandy.
Pretty amazing for really one of the world's less wonderful fish.
It's kind of a nice mix of France and Italy.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Guys,
gentlemen.
good to see you.
What a treat to meet together in Lyon.
If you're really going to understand a place, love it the way it deserves to be loved, maybe you have to live there. Bill Buford did just that and made Lyon his home. Today he's taking me somewhere only someone from the home team could be expected to know about.
It's a beautiful day. The sky is blue. We're feeling the seasons changing, and we're about to go into a dark room, and you eat a very Lyonnaise menu, and you drink a vast quantity of Lyonnaise wine.
And what sinister bodies will be in there?
The only kind of people who would do this kind of thing on a bright, pretty day. It's a very male tradition. You work hard, you drink harder.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
The mysterious, fabulous, goofy, wonderful bro-fests called Franc-Machons. These are basically eating and drinking societies that go back over a century, when the silk workers of Lyon would finish their night shifts early in the morning. Hungry and looking to get, shall we say, completely hammered, they'd take over a Bouchon, stuff their faces like heroes, blow off the proverbial steam in decidedly French fashion. Which is to say, no freaking Italian nachos or mozzarella sticks for these boys. Hell no.
How often do you do this?
8 times a year.
It's a very Lyonese thing. Societies, some secret, all of them sort of like special memberships. There must be like 50 of these things that I know about. Remember if you're invited to be a member and remain a member for the rest of your life.
The food is invariably deliciously dinosauric, and heavy yet always glorious classics like blanquette de veau, the slow, slowly stewed neck and shoulder pieces of veal with mushrooms served over rice. Hunks of bread and wine, local Beaujolais of course, and lots of it.
Santé.
Santé. Santé.
Santé.
No woman, that's all. No politics, no religion. And it works. For 50 years. Yes.
Do women have mashal, their own organizations?
Yes.
There are. So somewhere on the other side of town, there were a lot of women sitting around drinking wine, eating blanquette, and bitching about the men. Uh-oh.
And then there will be, yes, singing, and no doubt the telling of lusty jokes, followed by serious official business.
Buffet. Il n'avait ni riche buffet, ni verre de Venise. Il buvait comme les trous, mon bleu, bien autrement que nous.
Alongside, and some say above the names of the other culinary giants in and around Lyon, is the name Trois Gros. Started by the visionary brothers Jean and Pierre, Maison Trois Gros received 3 Michelin stars in 1968 and sparked a dynasty of culinary excellence that continues today with Pierre's son Michel and his son César.
My dream was always to put Maison Trois Gros on my resume. It's my first day chez Trois Gros.
Anthony, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Comment allez-vous?
Très bien.
Many have called Maison Trois Gros the best restaurant in the world, and in the 60s, the brothers Pierre and Jean were early, important, and fundamental innovators of what came to be known as Nouvelle Cuisine. Behold one of their breakout classics, one of the truly game-changing, timeless, most influential dishes in history. It seems now maybe a simple thing, but it absolutely turned the world upside down when it debuted on the Trois Gros menu in 1962.
I mean, when you have a dish this legendary, this iconic, there's no escaping. The Rolling Stones will always have to play Jumping Jack Flash. If you Google Trois Gros, you'll see this name.
So forget everything you have on Google. Watch it now. Okay.
Before this, fish was generally overcooked. It was served alongside elaborate garnishes, starches, vegetables. This simple, elegant, almost Japanese ode to flavor changed the way we cook fish in restaurants today, and how we make sauces, what our plates look like.
I remember seeing a picture of this as a young man. I'm getting goosebumps seeing this. Thrilling. Perfect.
Beautiful.
It's all about the timing. The moment you put the fish on the pan, the moment you put the soy on the sauce, it's very important.
Okay. Wow. Go. All right.
Then, from now to you in the dining room, it will take about 1 minute.
Right.
So, 1 minute is the time to have it perfect.
Because it's cooking all the way.
Look at the cuisson.
Oh, perfect. It's a perfect dish.
Sinful and delicious.
It's really one of the great ideas of the 20th century.
Sensual.
Sexy.
Lyon, one can't help but see a line from there, from the rustic dishes of the farm in the Bouchon, to here, the classics of the great tables of Europe. All roads lead here. A major trunk of the tree that goes back to Carême and beyond. Monsieur Paul Bocuse. The brigade, the way it is done and has always been done since Escoffier instituted a military-style hierarchy into the kitchen, where the only acceptable response to any question or any command is "Oui, chef." This is the Special Forces, the SAS of cooking. And these cooks live to avoid, under any circumstances, disappointing their comrades, the hierarchy, or Monsieur Paul. Danielle worked here, and so have many, many who have gone on to run their own celebrated kitchens.
Hello, comment ça va? Vous allez bien?
In the 70s, as a young wannabe cook, I managed to lay hands on a French copy of Paul Bocuse's classic cookbook, La Cuisine de Marché. And I gaped with wonder at the photos, struggled to translate the descriptions of dishes so fantastic I was quite sure I'd never, ever in my life cook, much less eat.
Paul.
If you could please say how honored and grateful I am to be here. This is a dream come true.
Paul, tu sais qu'il est très honoré.
Avec plaisir.
Over the years, how many great chefs have come through this restaurant and gone on to open great restaurants?
Beaucoup.
Oui.
C'est pas, mais pas mal. Ce qui est formidable, il y en a un peu dans le monde entier. Je dis quand je voyage, j'en trouve toujours un.
You always have a child somewhere around the world because everywhere he goes around the world.
But Bocuse, too, is and was a part of the system. He came up with his own cruel and terrifying masters, and their faces are here.
L'histoire pour Paul, ses inspirations.
Fernand Point, the towering and intimidating figure behind La Pyramide. Out of his kitchens came such figures as Alain Chapelle, Michel Guérard, François Bise, Roger Verger, Georges Perrier, the brothers Trois Gros, and many more.
This was all the gang of the Nouvelle Cuisine up there. The 60s in New York. And Paul and Michel Guérard.
Every great chef I've ever met has nightmares. They're still a young man. They're back in a kitchen, and a chef is yelling at them. Who of his masters?
Peut-être la mère Brasier.
La mère Brasier, the woman.
Really? Oui.
La Mère Brasier. In the year 1946, at the ripe old age of 20, Monsieur Paul worked as an apprentice for Brasier.
She was such a screamer. He said, "You will fall on your ass." She was screaming so hard.
Première levée.
She was the first up in the morning.
Et dernière couchée.
And the last one to go to bed. She will go to the market with 3 cooks in the back of the truck, and she will put a case of green beans or something, and the cook will be sitting down, making the beans not to waste time for the rest of the mise en place.
Truly a terrifying figure.
Truffle soup, Élysée. I can't tell you how many hours I stared at photos of this dish, how pathetically I tried to replicate it. Never, ever did I think I'd get to try it, much less like this. Loup en croûte feuilletée avec sauce choron. Sea bass with a tomato béarnaise sauce baked in a meticulously crafted millefeuille crust.
This is a great moment.
Ils ont que 3 caméras.
Yeah, you only have 3 cameras? Or...
The fish is filled with a delicate lobster mousse, chervil, and tarragon, then wrapped carefully in pastry. Notice, please, the careful and expert tableside carving and service.
Nous, ça fait 50 ans qu'on fait les mêmes plats.
He has been making the same thing for 50 years. Paul has an amazing respect for classic.
A pot au feu, the peasant classic.
Tony, get closer.
You were totally sending me every one of those pictures,
Yeah.
by the way. Wow, look at that. This style of dish goes back long before cameras. But
It's perfect. Is there a more perfect assortment of colors and textures?
In this one, a somewhat more luxurious version. Beef shanks, flank steak, oxtail, veal shanks, chicken, marrow bones, beef ribs, leeks, carrots, turnips, fennel, and parsnips, all stewed long and at low temperature, then served with its own deeply rich broth.
I think it's enough for the two of us.
And then this.
Oh my God.
Messieurs, le lièvre à la royale.
As if the chef had been listening to my deepest, darkest secret yearnings. The legendary lièvre à la royale, an almost completely disappeared, incredibly difficult preparation of wild hare. The animal is first slowly cooked, then coated by a sauce of its own minced heart, liver, and lungs that has been thickened with its own blood. After more than 6 hours of preparation, the hare is served as the chef prefers, whole, on the bone. The rich, glorious sauce finished with truffles and chartreuse, napped over and over until it coats like richest chocolate. Absolutely the lost ark of the covenant of cuisine ancienne.
Everything great about cooking is encapsulated in this dish.
We will continue all over the world to make cuisine of Paul, many generations to come.
Forever. I will never eat like this again in my life. Chef, merci.
J'étais très heureux de vous recevoir.
The meal of my life.
Today, I was treated to the greatest hits of a glorious and fabled career. For the first and probably the last time, I sat next to the great man himself, and Danielle and I were served a menu that chefs will look back on in 100 years and smile at appreciatively, sentimentally, respectfully. So, me and Danielle were going hunting, and over lunch we'd mentioned that fact to Paul Bocuse, who immediately insisted that if we wanted to go duck hunting, we should come by his crib. And so we find ourselves in the morning mist of Les Dômes, a rural area about a half hour outside Lyon. And sure enough, in spite of his 88 years and the fact that he's been less than well, 9 a.m. on the nose, there he is, sitting on top of his beloved John Deere with his faithful dog Festin ready to go.
Nice, fresh morning.
Yeah, I was just thinking, the smell is beautiful. That dog is happy.
The great chef loves this place, and you can see why. Monsieur Paul can't safely hunt, but he's happy to charge around flushing birds for us.
Beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful. I could do this all day. That was about as good as we're gonna get, too.
You got bulletproof or wild boar?
If you look long enough, you start hallucinating. You start hallucinating ducks where there aren't any.
You see that one falling?
Okay, not a moment to waste. Quickly, a second shot.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Allez.
Right there.
Là-bas, sous le pont.
Festin.
Oh, Festin, là, là.
Between me and Danielle and Festin the dog, we managed to actually bag a few ducks.
Good job. Done là, yalla, Festin. Very good.
What easy shot.
Then it's back to the lodge, clearly Bocuse's happy place, where we meet up with some hunting buddies of the great chef.
You did a good job, no? Qu'est-ce que t'en penses, Tony?
Success.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Is this the hunting lodge, the weekend getaway, hang out with the guys?
That's why you come every day, almost. Hein? Tu viens pratiquement ici tous les jours.
Un peu moins maintenant, mais autrement tout le temps.
Yeah, a little bit less.
On piège beaucoup.
Look at the picture behind. You see?
For tonight's meal, we pluck and roast some woodcocks over an open fire. Cook up some well-aged duck and pheasant.
They made this at the auberge Paul Bocuse. It's a Swiss star mashed potato here.
Is it predominantly butter or predominantly potato? Do you have a head in there somewhere?
Yes, of course. Yeah, no.
That's perfect happiness right there. My father used to say, I am a man of simple needs. And I noticed that the chef is a nice fire, some birds.
We can spend the whole week with Paul, and we'll be hunting, we'll be cooking, we'll be eating, drinking, and talking, and that's beautiful. Ah ouais, en plus.
Life is good.
It is for me a dream to spend this time with a legend. But I'm thrilled that Bocuse too seems genuinely delighted.
Le rougeau. The duck you shot was a rougeau. You see, is the one behind you on the top
Yeah. In Lyon, all across France, he's Monsieur Paul. He's the great chef, a public figure, a hero, an institution, always treated with the greatest deference. Here it appears he's free to enjoy the simple things with friends and local farmers who talk to him like anybody else. It's a pretty damn magical thing to see.
La lumière bleue des magasins.
Daniel may be a 3-star Michelin chef, but like so many of his predecessors, he's basically a farm boy at heart. He grew up milking cows and doing farm work here on his family's spread. There is, it turns out, something of a restaurant tradition to build on. The house on his farm was once a small cafe as well, operated first by his grandparents and great-grandparents. The famous Café Boulou, it turns out, was not the first place to bear that name.
They kept it about 80 years or 100 years, and then they closed it.
Voilà. 5 minutes, et parfait. No.
Meeting Daniel's dad, one begins to understand the roots of his perfectionism.
Bien calculé, hein?
Très bien calculé.
His mom, dad, wife Catherine, and Danielle collaborate.
Attends. Oui.
With some debate.
Yeah, mais un petit peu au milieu encore.
On a super old-school farmhouse classic. The sort of thing that good times, bad times, a family could make with stuff that's always readily available on the farm. Check this out. It's a hollowed-out pumpkin layered with toasted hunks of stale country bread, which Monsieur Boulou Sr. bakes himself. Nutmeg, grated Gruyere cheese, mushrooms, fresh cream from the cows, and the meat of the pumpkin.
And a layer of bacon also. Homemade pancetta. Very good. Oh man, it's heavy.
Ça, repasser. Oui, voilà. Attention, pas de salir.
We made it.
Is he concerned that the pumpkin's going to try to get out?
Daniel's dad could be something of a Gallic MacGyver. You don't waste stuff around here, and he's a bit of an inventor anyway.
How much would you pay for a machine like this?
Look at this. An old washing machine turned still.
What the hell is that? Regarde, une fois que c'est commencé, ça va.
So underneath we have the grap, but to seal it so there is no air coming in, there's cement on top. It's not distilled yet, it's just fermented.
Leftover grape solids from the winemaking process, usually used to make liquor like grappa. Today, a different use. If we can get it out of here.
Think like, why did you put so much cement on it?
L'odeur.
This is funky. Super.
We'll be using this delightfully funky stuff to flavor the steam that cooks the vegetables and the sabodé sausages from Monsieur Renan inside the still.
we come back in an hour.
At dusk, we settle for dinner.
Oh, look at that.
Here is the pumpkin.
Incredible. Look at that. Wow.
The pumpkin is amazing. We also have that great Sabodé sausage from Monsieur Renaud.
Oh, look at that. Whoa.
Cabbage and potatoes, all steamed in the still.
The flavor you get from the fermented grape, awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome, huh?
But good. So good.
And if you know Daniel at all, he can't really help himself. He's popping up and down, serving everybody, making sure everything's just right. And sitting here with his family in the house he grew up in, you can see where it all comes from.
Madame and Monsieur, their son, he's now gigantic international success. When he was a young man at 14 sneezing in the field, did they ever anticipate this?
Du tout,
No? No early indications of greatness? But I mean, there is a line, isn't there, from the farm and haute cuisine. They all reflect the region, hopefully.
Yeah.
But in the best case, they're interdependent. They come from each other. In fact, who cooks in the great restaurants? Well, farm boys, basically.
Yeah.
That's who always cooked. My deepest thanks to your mother and your father. Thank you.
Merci. Next time, my father make you drive the tractor.